guys, I am Chris Gaylor.
And I'm Amber Fossil Kitchen Cosplay, and tonight we're back again, guys, with
Vikings, episode 6, Burial of the Dead. It doesn't sound really good for our guys, but I mean, I could be surprised. The dead could be the Earl too, so what happened last episode?
Well, they got attacked by the Earls, or men,
his
basically.
men, yeah.
Ragnar got hurt, and
almost died too.
Yeah, and Rollo got tortured because he wouldn't give up his brother.
Yeah, they lost pretty much everything. They lost the farm, the people working there.
Floki said they didn't lose anything. They're all alive, Ragnar's alive, the kids are alive.
Floki really came true last episode, just you know, welcoming them in his home and giving him food, especially before the winter. So I thought that he did a really good job helping them out, just, you know, healing Ragnar and stuff. And I mean, they're hanging there, but they just heard about Rollo being tortured, so
Ragnar provoked the Earl in a duel between him.
He's still hurt. He still has a hard time, you know, walking and stuff. So I don't know how this is gonna go. The Earl married his daughter to some Swedish Earl, an old, fat Swedish Earl. So let's say that his wife is not really happy, and we learned that there was something going on between her and Rollo too. So
I think that something's wrong with everyone's wife with Rollo, basically.
He just needs love and attention. Okay, but he's staying silent, so I'll give him that. He is loyal to his brother, like he's not giving him up. So the honor is strong there. We might not always agree with his ways, but more and more I'm finding myself agreeing with what he's doing. So
it's surprising us. Yeah.
So without further ado, let's jump in episode 6. I'm gonna say sorry right now because I am tired, so my voice sounds like shit, and I look like shit too, like I'm just not awake yet. So sorry about that, guys. But let's jump in episode 6. Maybe that's gonna wake me up. And let's watch a burial of the dead.
Alright.
Let's go.
Ragnar Lothbrok challenges you to meet him in single combat.
His honor, the guy is right there, the Swedish Earl, so...
Ragnar Lothbrok has a very high opinion of himself.
Well, he is a descendant of Odin.
Why not?
There would be greater shame in accepting a challenge from a criminal. That would suggest that I take him seriously, that I see him as an equal.
Criminal you declared innocent.
Stone Ramos. He searches for your death. Does he desire to be Earl? If he kills you, would it not be so? Tell Ragnar Lothbrok I accept his challenge.
Oh, he's so scared. I mean, if I was him, knowing that he's still hurt, I would take care of this right now instead of waiting for him to be feeling better.
In better shape, yeah.
I was thinking about our boys. What they would look like now.
Don't think about them, think about tomorrow.
Interesting, the difference in these two.
One thinks of the future constantly and the other is hunted by the past. That's a huge difference, I feel like, between the two. Is his supporters, his family is there supporting him, and he thinks of them for their future, his future with them. As for the Earl, he's just so stuck in the past all the time. And he's haunted by the ghost of his son, so he can... I think he's weaker in that way.
I won't hold it against him if he's haunted by his
Oh yeah, for
sons.
sure. It's a huge difference between the two, though. I think maybe that could give Ragnar more strength.
The combatants can choose any weapon and shield they desire. Each man has 2 shields. If both are broken, there can be no further replacement.
Oh my god, alright. So they're casting out the first shield, basically?
I think.
Just like in battle, you don't get a second chance.
That's honorable of them, I guess.
Oh god.
What the fuck? You don't have any more weapons?
The shield is a weapon too. You could use it. There you go. Trying to steal a sword. Trying to steal a sword. Use a piece of wood. Oh my god. The pride. Dude, that's how you die. For an old man, he fights well. You know, he keeps his own.
You got practice?
I mean, it's true that the other is hurt.
On one side, you got strength and youth, and on the other side, you got experience.
Experience, yeah. This is a wound too. It's same spot as the arrow. Fucking hell. Oh! 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 Yes! It's he could finish him right there. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh man, loves cars.
Lord Odin is here, waiting to see which one of us he will take to his great hall. So I shall die after all, at the high table of the Asir. No! No! Tonight, I shall be drinking with our boys.
Although it's a peaceful way to go.
Kill him.
Dude,
He won the fight fair and
he's
square.
basically the Earl now.
Kill him!
Yeah. Thank you! That one I was expecting. Well deserved.
Even less than that.
Although all he did was, you know, listen to commands and stuff. Still well deserved.
Well,
Oh my
she'll
God.
let her daughter live. She's gonna protect her.
Yeah, but I mean, that's something she never approved of, and now that the husband is dead.
Hail, O Ragnar.
Alright!
Hail, O Ragnar!
Floki's just laughing his ass off.
Oh my god, that man's gonna be a legend someday.
He beat the previous Earl while being, like, wounded, weak,
With respect and honor.
and with, like, no luck on his side because his freaking sword broke. He's got the crow of Odin on his head. Shit.
Take it! Take it!
Oh gosh.
Episode 6? Holy shit! Alright!
I swear to be true to you, your wife, and your family. Oh, we have to be equal now, my brother.
Oh shit. That didn't sound really great. Why add this? You can make your fortune some some different way. I don't know. And yet we heard that he's the oldest,
Yeah.
so
I can understand now why he might want to have more than what he got now.
because like what we said, like his brother has everything: a family, a wife, children. Now he's freaking Earl.
Why have you agreed to grant Earl Haraldson such a big funeral? Is he not your enemy?
He was also a great man.
Respect the man and the warrior.
And warrior. He earned his renown in this life, and now in death he deserves such a funeral.
Not like what the Earl used to do with the people he killed.
That's the thing that I really appreciate about a warrior, is that you cannot recognize the value of your enemy and give him
Respect.
yeah. Was she one of his slaves?
Who is she?
She is one of the Earl's slaves.
Oh.
When he died,
Oh, she's gonna be sacrificed by
all of
him.
his slave women were asked who wants to die with him. This one agreed.
Oh my gosh.
She wants to die?
I think she's been serving the same guy for so long,
I think it's more about honor factor.
even for a slave.
Yeah. That's. I mean, when there's someone important and you got a slave.
But she's the only one who agreed to do it, though. So I'm like,
Yeah, but what if she only got one slave?
no, he had others. The others were his other slaves, preparing her. I think it goes to show what type of man he was, and if she's willing to die with him. So it's a celebration just as much as it's a time for grief and letting go of people.
He's going into Valhalla.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need to celebrate the act, the moment. Every episode, we learn more about them, learn more about what they believe in. We're the priests, basically. We get surprised a lot, different times.
I have a question. I don't know if you really understood well, because he got many slaves, so she was willing to sacrifice herself with her master.
I thought,
But if he only got one slave, does she have to be willing to do the sacrifice, or is she going to be forced to do it?
I can see my master. He is in Valhalla. He calls me. Let me join him then.
I don't want to watch.
It's only death. I will stay or my father will hear it.
dude, get off your high horse.
He's still a slave?
Technically, he does have the same status, and for him life is so precious and stuff. I think he finds it crazy that someone can willingly give it away like this.
The thing is, for Christianity, suicide is one of the biggest sin you can commit.
Murder too. I'm like, he's hurt and stuff, but he still looks fierce.
I ask permission to light the fire.
Can't show weakness, can't show too much mercy. She is the wife of the dead Earl.
She's his wife, but her husband murdered his friend too.
There's that too. I think in this society, if he shows weakness of any type, he might start losing the respect of the others, so... Now that he's Earl, everyone's looking at what he does, and everyone's gonna judge him and stuff, so... He needs to be careful. We saw with that Earl that loyalties can switch pretty fast.
I'm a child again.
Oh! You don't even have one
I know you're a boy. The seer told me. Owned by all the gods, my son. You have made me a happy man.
Oh. For a man who is
He was losing
desiring
everything.
glory and recognition, family is really on top of all. That's great.
And I mean, at the beginning of the episode, he was losing everything.
Now he's gaining everything.
And what happens to them?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
It is often the way the new Earl deals with the family of the old.
Ragnar won't kill you. You were once married to an Earl. Would you not like to be married to another one?
Who?
What do you mean, who?
What do you plan on
Be Earl
doing?
someday. With his own land, I hope, not his brothers.
I never know where to stand with this guy. I get why he's frustrated. His brother became Earl, and now he's finding out that he's gonna get another son or another child. He still has nothing, and he got scars on his face now for being loyal to his brother, and he's got nothing.
You accuse them of having supernatural powers, which is why a small force of them defeated you.
I merely said they fought like demons, like men possessed, with no fear of death.
I'd like to see you, Fat King,
Unlike
try
you,
to
my
kill
lord.
them.
I fear death as much as the next man. But I have no fear that afterwards, God will raise me up again.
I have something new to show you.
Oh, snake
Let the
pit.
serpents bite these devils. Let them also bite those too weak and afraid to fight to the death for their king and master.
My lord!
You look terrified, my lord Vigia. What, have you lost your faith?
Yeah, but there's a difference.
I hope he doesn't.
This is England!
What a shitty king!
Let us prepare to defend ourselves against these heathens and barbarians.
That's
No respect at all, no loyalty to his men. Fuck! Next enemy, basically. Sorry, I couldn't find the button. Alright. I'm both really happy that the show is not, you know, losing time, wasting time with everything, and it's
Do you
moving
think
fast.
that will be entertainment if we had to wait months and months?
But that's
of
the
winter?
thing. No, that's not what I meant. I'm glad that the show is not wasting time on stuff, because we want to see the legacy that Ragnar is going to create. We want to see what he does in the future, and we want to see his fights with the King of England. Like, he set that up that when one of his men died against his group of fighters, so they were saying that he was going to pay eventually. So this is setting up something. And this guy, holy shit, like, every time we see him, he sounds like a petty king. I know that
He's a fat king.
I know that the priest said that he was a good king, but from what I've seen so far, you gotta convince me here, and he's not doing that.
Well, maybe good as in we're not in war with the other kingdoms.
But as a person,
kind
he's
of peace.
Yeah, but as a person, he's like shitty.
Yeah.
He does look and sound shitty. Like, he just threw one of his supporters, one of his warriors, one of his soldiers, to a snake pit just because the guy had the gall to tell the truth about a terrifying group of fighters. The king knows nothing. I'd like to see him face these guys. Eventually, I really want to see how scared he gets whenever they get to his castle, because they're coming. This is something that's so great about Viking ships, is that they were small enough, like I don't remember the term, but they were not deep enough to be stopped at seas. Like in England they had these huge ships, but forget, you
can
silently
only stop at shore,
yes, forget slowly or silently raiding up the rivers and stuff to get to the castles, because that's something that you could do, go to castles through the rivers. But the ships in England, they can't do that at all. And the dinghies, like the little boats they could use to sail up the rivers, they're not strong enough to go against the current and stuff. So Vikings have different boats, different technology, different ways of interacting in a fight or together and stuff. This is totally new for them, and the king has no idea what he's facing. So I find this really shitty that he just throws his warrior to the snake pit because he doesn't understand what he's facing. And the guy does. Well, kinda. He knows because he's faced them, so he understands what they are. He's like, don't you fear death? And I'm like, well, this is different. Dying in battle and expecting to have a peaceful death and be, with God and stuff, that's one thing. Being murdered by your own king for no reason?
Well, we saw that on both sides, technically. Both sides show man who doesn't have
in the
boundaries about killing their own kind, so.
In the other group, like in Scandinavia, of course they don't appreciate the idea of dying not in battle. Like you saw that old man, he's getting old, everyone he knew is dead now, and he's never suffered a single wound, so he's like, with the odds I have right now, there's a good chance I'm going to die in my bed and without having ever proven my worth or anything. So he'd rather die in battle. Any warrior, I feel like death is not something that someone should cherish in. Like, you should not go into battle expecting to die, but it gives them more strength, I feel like, because they kind of welcome death. They don't, and because when they die, they need to be approved warrior, they need to be strong and they need to be welcomed as a warrior. So the Vikings are going to fight despite them kind of opening their arms to death, like to the idea of death. Whereas for all our words, death is something that the Christians should not fear if they lived a good life, without sin and stuff. But it's not to the extent of the Vikings. Like, they don't have to be strong warriors in order to die. But I would suppose that for a soldier, it'd be better to die in battle than to just be killed like this. Any death is not a good death, but in this case, it's sad. It's really sad for a soldier to be killed like that. By his own king, nonetheless. So, But on the other hand, though, I was surprised that they finished the story of the Earl Haraldson so fast. Like I said, this is both a good thing, and it surprised me, though, how quick they got rid of that guy.
Maybe it showed us enough.
That's the thing.
We learned about his son, about his paranoia, about his way of thinking. The show wasn't that much about him, but about Ragnar ascending to
it's true.
High state of Earl and maybe more. I don't know.
I feel like with Ragnar, it's just one more step. There's always going to be another one. Right now, he killed the Earl, which gives him access to the supplies for new ships, more raids to England, and that's what that's what he wanted. That's the freedom of exploring these lands and just establishing a name and just finding more about this land and finding this glory and his riches on the other side. Something that he did twice, but he could not have done any more with the previous Earl. So I think it was necessary for the other guy to go. And I think it's interesting because we did see something about his past. We knew he was troubled. We knew that something went on with his sons, and he kind of introduced the fact that he wanted to find his son's killers. He didn't know who did that. So there were possibilities, but to kill him so early in the show, I think it's almost like saying, no matter who you are in this show, no matter where your story is, we don't really care. You can still die, because this is how it happens in real life. It doesn't matter if your story is over or not. If it's your time to die, you're gonna die.
The fate has already been decided by the gods.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, if you say it like that, yeah. But all I'm saying is that right now something's going on with Rollo, but that does not mean that he can't die. You know, because usually when I would watch a show, I love to say that shows have to follow a certain set of rules.
Yeah, you kind of expect the main character to go to point A to point B, which is the end of the series.
Not always, but you need to follow a set of rules. Like, for example, I'm going to take Game of Thrones as an example here, but sorry. But anyway, when you remember when Jon Snow died and came back to life in season 6, spoiler alert if you haven't seen, sorry. But when he died and people were scared that in season 6 in Battle of the Bastards he was going to die, I was basically looking at the episode and was like, no, he's not. He's not going to die. He just did. It goes against one of the rules of a story. I mean, usually when you take all that time to bring a character back, you won't kill him right after. Of course, there are shows that cross these rules and they still do it. Like, it happens. Like, I don't remember which movie, but there's a movie... I really don't. I wish I could remember the title, but I think it's a zombie movie or it's a monster movie.
What happened?
There's a guy. I mean, these people are stuck in a shop, I think, and there's this guy who shows up. No. There's this guy who shows up with a gun. He's badass as fuck. He's just like calming everyone down. He's like the hero, you know. He's the badass fighter that you see in every horror movie, every action movie. And and we're at the beginning of the movie, and he's just like, let's kill these motherfuckers, and right after that he gets killed. Seriously, it's great.
I think it's Zombieland.
No, it's not Zombieland. Yeah. I saw that movie at school, actually. I saw this scene at school. It's, you cross expectations, you know? So we would expect the Earl to live a little longer because he has much more things to tell us. But for him to die right now, I think it's putting the doubt on every character's. Like, it's almost like they're saying to us, this is a realistic show. We don't care about stories. We care about our characters and their journey. And once their journey is at an end, they're going to die. No matter what they still have to tell you. So it's interesting because it puts the other characters at risk a little bit. So I'm as much as I'm surprised that he died early in the show, I'm actually okay with that. I feel like this show is trying to tell us that they want to do this realistically as much as possible. And, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
As for his death, well, could have been more violent, so I feel like it's almost like he gave him a quiet out, slitting his wrist like that, so he could just go to sleep and never wake up. It's showing respect. Like, the amount of respect that the warriors show each other in the show is incredible. I appreciate that a lot. I mean, we hear about this and it's different. I mean, it's not different. Like, we're used to seeing war movies and stuff where people are just going to slaughter everyone left and right and they don't really care. And not to disregard a fighter's life like this is sad.
That's the thing that I always think about technically, that I cannot grasp the idea that you don't respect your opponent no matter why you're fighting for, because your enemy is fighting for his life, for his family, for his country.
Yeah.
And you're doing the same. On battlefield, you're against an
enemy.
You're facing an enemy, an opponent, and you should show your enemy respect during the fight and after.
It's not because you don't believe in the same things.
I really dislike when warriors or fighters do not do that.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because that showed what type of person you are.
Because if you think about it, these people...
Sorry guys, my English is still sleeping right now.
These people are serving different kings, different rulers. They have different cultures, and sometimes it's only because their king decides that he wants a bigger land that you're forced to kill these other people. So it's not about revenge. It's not about anger. It's not about just wanting more, just to spill more blood. It's just that you have to fight these battles, and just like your enemy, you want to survive. Like, you have the same goals, you have the same need to stay alive. So if you end up being on top, if you end up being the survivor, I think it shows a character's strength to still be able to look at your enemy, especially like in this case, because Ragnar was not on the battlefield facing a guy, just a random guy that he didn't know. He was facing a guy who destroyed his house, killed his people, hurt him, and was, you know, trying to kill him and his family. So I think it goes to show a lot of character strength on Ragnar's side to still have, you know, take the time to show this guy respect, give him a quick death. Yeah, give him a slow death, but that's more peaceful than what he could have given him. Like, let's be real, he could have done this so many different ways. True. Still, to give him the funerals that he deserved. And we saw that he was not, you know, the guy they killed in the beginning, episode 1, he was, for everyone involved, he was supposedly a murderer, but still Ragnar was saying the Earl shouldn't have robbed him of his chance of going to Valhalla, because we all believe in the same things. We have to respect this. He'd like for someone to respect it if he was the one dying, so he will do it for them. But he's not going to go too far as you know, giving the wife everything she demands. He still needs to show that he's strong. So show mercy to your fellow warrior that's fallen into battle, but still be strong enough, because now he's the Earl. If he messes up, he's gonna be Harold's son next time. So he needs to show strength.
He needs to play his battle well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the old man was asking for a trip to the west because he wants the chance to have this honor. He wants the chance to die in battle and be just a great warrior that's deserving of the gods and stuff. So I can understand, you know, even though it doesn't make sense to bring him on the trip and stuff.
Ragnar could have said right away that you're a warrior just like myself. I'm gonna allow you to go and raid with us this next summer. But he thinks about his people and his follower. You're an old man. You can get killed at any time. I'm not gonna send you to your death just like a pig to the butchery.
I mean, the thing is, it's not that. It's that if they go west in an unknown territory fighting the enemy, and he has someone on his side that's old and that might die on the trip there, he's going to be one man short. It's on his head, true. You know. I mean, they work as a unit. They work as a group. They cannot afford to have a weak link with them. And as sad as it is, because in this community, you don't want to be seen as weak. So for the guy to be like, you know what, I might be old, but I want this chance to have honor and die as a warrior. He understands that and he respects that. So he gives him that chance. So he's compliant, like he's merciful, but he stands his ground with his son. He stands his ground with the wife. You know, he needs to find the perfect balance. And so far, so good. He's been rewarded, like with the new another son coming.
Oh.
I wonder if it's this guy. I've seen like so many faces. This show has been on for a couple years, and I mean we see the trailers on TV, but we never really pay attention. But I've seen so many faces, which might be why at the beginning of the show I was like, Ragnar's gonna die like in episode 2. But anyway, I'm surprised, but I'm really happy for this guy who was losing everything at the beginning of the episode. Now he's got everything. And Rollo,
he's a lucky man. No, right now he's a lucky man.
Yeah, but Rollo, I feel like someone has said,
I just hope that he's gonna find his own land and become Earl of that land and not take his brother's riches.
I feel, okay, I think with Rollo, we keep being like, oh yeah, okay, no, he's cool. Ah, no, he's shitty. Oh, but he's cool. Ah, he's shitty. But I feel like what he said could be taken as, I'm gonna throw my brother off, like I'm gonna overthrow him, I'm gonna kill him and take his place. Or it could also be taken as, now that my brother is Earl, he has a wife, he has kids, he has the title, this is what I aim for. He said to his brother, like, now how the hell are we gonna be equal? Like, this is not possible anymore. But I feel like what his brother becomes is basically what he sets his goal for. He wants to prove that he can be just as good. So if his brother is the Earl now, I think his brother, Rollo, is thinking that, okay, since he's managed to do that, I want to prove that I can do just as good. So I'm setting my sights on becoming an Earl.
Just please don't take your brother's land.
But that's the thing. Like I said, it could go both ways. He could be the badass mean guy.
we always doubt him. And when we expect him to betray his brother, he never.
So I'm gonna give him a chance
I
here.
think that he might use his brother's new title to help himself taking his own title for himself. So I think he's gonna just ask his brother to help him becoming an earl on his own land.
I don't know if he's gonna
Because
ask.
there's another Swedish who died.
True. I don't know if he's gonna ask for help, but I'm gonna give him I'm gonna throw him a bone here. I've been really threading lightly with this guy. I did not trust him from the beginning, and I think that that's what they wanted to do. Like, they really wanted us to distrust him. But then he showed that he was really loyal to his brother, and even though he hates being, seen as weak, like when Ragnar was saying, like, you already paid your toll for being loyal to me, he's like, he really doesn't like that. He's like, don't even remind me.
He's the older brother.
Yeah.
It's like if our little brother who's like 4 years younger than yourself, you paid enough.
No, I'd be slapping him hard. Oh shit. But okay. Like I said, I'm gonna throw him a bone. I'm gonna give him a chance because I want to believe that he can be a good guy. He's proven that he has. I mean, he's not that bad. It's just that they worked really hard on establishing him as a bad guy in the first episode, like a distrustful guy. So I'm gonna believe that maybe what he wants to do is go his own way, but he's just aiming higher now that his brother's Earl. Because I don't think he has it in him to kill the kids, kill the wife. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want to destroy the family. So as much as he might resent... And it's sibling rivalry at this point. Like, as much as he might resent the fact that his brother's so fortunate, I don't think he wants to rob him of that fortune. I just think he wants to prove he can have the same, no matter how he gets it.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's... To be with an ex-Earl's wife... It's a good beginning. Like, it's gonna show... It's almost like you're saying, like, haha, I was stronger than you. I'm not the one who killed him, but I still got his wife. And he's got the daughter now that if he marries the woman, the wife, he's got the daughter that he can marry off. Yeah. To make alliances and stuff, so...
Yeah.
Don't know if she's gonna accept that, but we'll see. Anyway.
We'll see.
But yeah, I was happy. It's interesting because the episode was called Burial of the Dead, and we got to see how the Vikings handle death and funerals and stuff. And then we go to England and we see how little respect the king has for his men and how he handles death. So...
Not everybody handles death like that.
I know, but I think we've got our next enemy right there, so...
King Earl?
Yeah.
What is the name?
I don't. The Fat King.
But yeah, I have an honest question about the slave sacrifice.
Yeah,
ritual.
tell us about what went on there, because I think maybe we didn't hear, because I mean French people here, guys.
No, but I understood that the Earl got many slaves, and she was the one who chose to be sacrificed with her master. So she was willing to do the ritual.
I don't know if they have to have one slave to kill. Like, maybe someone might not have any slaves. If you don't have any slaves, like, you have no one.
Yeah, tell us guys if it's an obligation or not.
I don't think it's an obligation. I think although, I mean, she seemed willing to do this, but maybe she just chose to be the one to die so she could save the others. It depends on if it's an obligation or not, but...
Because if it's an obligation and she needs to be willing, what would happen if the guy only got one slave and she's not willing?
I don't know.
Please tell us, guys.
I don't think you have to, but... Like, I mean, could be
it's just like the pharaoh in Egypt. When he died, all of his slaves, no matter what they want or not, they're gonna be buried with him when he died. Yeah.
Anyway, tell us more about this side of the ritual.
It's interesting.
And we'll discuss it more, maybe.
But interesting.
Alright, so we're gonna move on to the next episode, because I want to see what Earl Ragnar does in England.
My god.
So,
it'll be like, what, 6 episodes and he's already Earl?
I mean, gosh, he's going fast up the chain, you know?
And 6 episodes is gonna be like, what?
King! Let's name him King. He's gonna be King of England.
What?
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next one right now, it's already on Patreon. The link is in the description.
So you know the drill. You want to watch it now, you go down there, you click and you subscribe, or you wait for the next one to be up on YouTube, which will be soon.
Yeah.
Alright.
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Here you go.
See you guys.
Bye.